Yo guys, today I have something very special for you. We finally get to take a look at this tier 10 Italian battleship. The Sap Thunderer of sorts. This thing has the potential to be really, really good. And we're going to take a look at it today, but first I do need to tell you how you can get this ship. It's going to happen in a steel event, they're calling it. So 36,000 steel bundle. That includes a special permanent camo. I believe it looks different than this one. This one seems to be just a standard one. And to be honest though, it looks pretty good. The Italian camos tend to be pretty strong. But a special camo will be available in the Armory. And then of course, this ship should be coming as a ship for normal steel purchase later on. They don't say exactly when that's going to happen. We've got a few ships we're certainly waiting on to see if they ever show up again in the Armory. Brisbane is one of those. Some of these event ships take their sweet time to actually show up. But it does seem like this will be a 36,000 steel bundle. And I'm not sure what it will be later on, but that initial bundle is 36,000 steel. And what that does mean is it's going to be more expensive than any other steel ship, at least to start with. For some of you, you may have a large stockpile of steel, so that's not a huge deal. But if you are limited on the amount of steel you can earn, because let's be honest, it is a very rare resource in this game, waiting could be a good idea. You probably will save... You'll likely save somewhere between 3,000 and 5,000 steel, I would guess. A lot of 32, 31... 30,000 steel here for a lot of the other tier 10 battleships. That's where I'd guess it would show up without that special camo. The Made of Steel camo, if you're wondering, is just a purely steel type camo. It's very reflective and it costs 10,000 steel. So if I had to guess, the ship is actually 31,000 steel and they're giving you a 5,000 steel discount, charging you an extra 5,000 for this full bundle, but giving you this special camo yet on top of that. And if you haven't seen it in game, this is what it looks like on the Schlieffen here. Very, very reflective. It honestly was a lot more silver, but whatever updates they've been doing to the lighting system has turned it basically into a mirror. So that will now be a part of this bundle. Okay, enough of the boring stuff on how you're going to get this ship. Let's talk about what this thing is. It is a very stealthy, very fast Italian battleship with 8 457mm guns. These guns, of course, do fire sap. That is the gimmick on the Italian line. So 16,600 alpha damage sap is immense. This is an ammo type that is almost impossible to angle to, and as has been brought up rightly so by a lot of people in the community, 457s will be overmatching 30mm of armor. Just like armor piercing, sap has some overmatch characteristics, and here that means that a lot of cruisers just can't angle to your shells. However, personally, I've found that in the Colombo, people can't really angle to your shells anyway, and this has nowhere near the overmatch. Things like Des Moines, for example, should be able to auto bounce, fully bow into this thing, and yet they still take like 15 to 30,000 damage chunks, depending on how many shells you land. And that is the issue with sap. It is very, very unfun to fight against, in my opinion. I find it breaks a lot of the artillery balance in this game. HE doesn't care about angling, right? It only cares about the armor threshold that it hits. And it does less damage for that, but you get the chance to light some fires. Armor piercing, of course, humongous alpha damage, but if you hit the wrong part of the ship, it's just going to overpen or even just bounce. But you get that potential alpha damage. Sap basically combines the best parts of those two. You get the consistency of HE, not caring about where you hit on a target really, and then you also get that alpha damage. So that is the potential issue here. And the reason I think that Colombo has such poor guns in every other category. Long reload, the range is terrible, the dispersion is just atrocious. The turret traverse is pretty bad as well. Like, these guns aren't great, but sap definitely tries to carry them. I know Colombo's not the best ship in the world right now, but this thing has battle cruiser dispersion and a 1.8 sigma. So for reference, Thunderer has the same battle cruiser dispersion, similar 8 guns, and 1.9 sigma, so slightly more accurate. but it still means this is a little bit less accurate than a Thunder, and it has sap that does 16,600 damage. So pretty insane potential, as you can see here on the XP. I actually haven't played it yet, so this is all a lot of speculation trying to set up this video. We will definitely get into some games here soon. 26.4 second reload with the build that I'm using here. I've just gone with a very basic Battleship build here. Reload mod, we don't need the range, I don't think, since we do have a spotter plane available to us, but perhaps we will. The nice thing here is we have 12.3 kilometer detect, unlike Colombo that has 14.1 at its best, something like that. That difference is pretty difficult to manage at times and makes the Colombo a little unwieldy in random battles, where having 12.3 is not too bad, considering 19.3 kilometers of range. I always think that difference, how much room you have between your detection and your maximum range, kind of determines how comfortable the ship tends to play in a lot of these campy games. The Battleship build looks a little something like this, very, very basic. I've opted to go a little extra tankiness on basic survivability over Brisk and incoming fire alert, but Brisk could be a great option here. We already have 36.8 knots, no speed boost here, but Brisk would mean the ship is getting around the map very, very quickly, and well, depending on the accuracy, means this could be a very devastating flanker type ship. All that to say, what's the weaknesses here? Well, low HP pool, kind of, 79,000 HP. The heals are normal heals, it seems like here. Not getting any sort of super heal shenanigans. And potentially the armor's a weakness, right? Actually, not too bad. It has 32 millimeters everywhere, which is not amazing at tier 10, but it's nowhere near the weakest they could have put on. Things like Slava get a 25 mil bow in exchange for the absolute strengths of the guns on this ship. So they didn't go all out on the potential weaknesses that could have been here. Another 25 mil bow here on the Vincent. Well, this thing doesn't have a citadel. Incomparable, potentially another ship, another steel ship. You're maybe looking at 25 on the bow as well. I don't know, Lauria looks to be okay on the armor front. I actually haven't checked the citadel yet. We're gonna do this together. Any turtleback? No turtleback. And the citadel appears to be waterline, actually. Oh, and above water here. Oh, okay, and the smokestacks. So I guess that's the top of the engines, I guess. Interesting citadel. So yeah, if you find one of these, you're gonna have to hit right in the middle if you're gonna want to citadel this thing. Interesting. Okay, a punishable citadel, but not all the way along. It is kind of weird how low this thing is in the water. Kind of getting a Battleship version of Petro vibes. At least, you know, compared to things like the Vermont, for example. A bit of a skyscraper in comparison, right? So that's going to help you to avoid some damage alongside the speed and the concealment. 1,000 meter turning radius is not great, but a 17-second rudder shift means it might be manageable here. So that's about it for the port discussion here. I'm going to take it into a few games, and let's see how this thing plays. Jumping into our first game here, there's a couple things I haven't quite touched on yet, like the turret angles. They're actually about 30 degrees, so pretty decent turret angles. You will, at closer ranges, have to worry a little bit about getting citadeled, but at longer ranges, not too bad. It's a fast ship, certainly, and kind of weird to have such a low deck line here. It's almost like the waves that get any bigger, they're just going to splash over it here, it seems like. This map, we don't quite have the opportunity to use the speed, at least at the start. Well, we get to push up a little more aggressively here, maybe. No carrier in this one. The AA is still the 4.6 kilometer weakness here, so I wouldn't expect anything much better at all than the Italian line usually gets. No fuel smoke, of course. That is not an option here, but our concealment's definitely going to be making up for that. As far as other things that I didn't mention yet, depth charges, we do get a nice 11 kilometer range. Okay, we got ourselves an Ohio here to start with. Let's see what we can do with the sap. We will start to turn out here soon. 10,000 damage, and we only got 2 ends. Well, let's see how tanky this broadside is. Oh, there is a Vermont here too. Okay. Well, we might just get dev struck off the rip here. Yeah, okay, there's one. Vermont didn't get another one. Okay. Focus down the Ohio here. And yeah, we went dark there even. Wonder what was spotting us earlier. That looks very accurate. Oh my goodness. 21,000 damage. All 8 hits. Okay. Okay. This could be a rather tough one to deal with. I hadn't mentioned it yet, but the armor piercing is actually short fuse as well. Which is gonna mean you're gonna do some very nice damage into broadside cruisers. Angled like this, we shouldn't take too much damage. 2 hits only. Okay. Not the best damage overall. Jaegers here, okay. Also, the secondaries are sap, which is kind of hilarious, but their DPM is just terrible, as well as... I'm gonna swap to the AP here. Maybe that's something we'll try quick. The DPM's terrible, and the accuracy is not improved at all, so pretty bad. 10,000 damage there. Oh, we're just dead. Great. Well, GG's, guys. We had some fun. Time to go into the next game. Okay. Well, we missed him. I can't, man, I can't. World of Warships. Alright, we'll try it there. He's probably like right underneath me at the moment. The dispersion, or the armor, I should say, is actually not too bad. It's a little better than I was thinking it would be, considering the potential gunpowder here. Okay, we got AP. Let's try there. And there. Ooh, our team is melting. Come on, that should kill him, right? Yes. Okay, we do get him. Fun and engaging. But we've done 63,000 damage so far. It's not too bad. But we're not impacting the game all that much right now. Maybe we'll use our speed to flank, actually. I'm going to try to get over to the middle of the map here to try and help on these guys, as well as deal with the enemy team here. Don't really feel like pushing into a Jaeger, especially after eating all those torpedoes from the submarine. Guess we got very lucky it was only the tier 8. We only took half our health permanently. Okay, we do get a spotter plane. May as well make use of it. The range is 23 kilometers, 23.1 when we have it up. So may as well use it. We also have sap, so we don't really care all that much about the angle of people. Ohio might be something to go after here. Dispersion looks decent, but he does turn out of the way. Baltimore, that's where we want to be looking. Things that we can overmatch. Potentially. Ooh, Musashi as well. Pretty far range for this guy. And he's starting to angle. Not a great shot for us. Let's see, a Jaeger here. Let's see if we can help out our Shima. Shima is torping at the Jaeger. Okay, he's got guns. Good. 2 hits, pretty good. You might have been expecting a little more out of that if you weren't used to Battleship sap, but you actually don't get full pen damage. You only get overpen damage into destroyers with sap. One of the weaknesses. We won't get our front guns there, but we will get the back guns. Maybe try and finish them off. Enemy team is a lot stronger than ours on this one. And we missed. Too bad. Vermont's a bit of a brick here, but I do feel like he's probably just gonna turn out once we start applying some more pressure to him. Also want to look for this Musashi here. There's not really much we can do over there. It's important we just try and focus on this flank. 13k, it's actually not all that amazing. I was actually expecting the damage to be more, but it does saturate. She's slowing down. Tough to get access to him. So maybe AP would be the way into a broadside Vermont like this. keep waiting for that Musashi to come forward. But the angle you can kind of sit at here is really quite good. Yeah, that damage is pretty low at that point. Oh, no. We're gonna ground. Whoops. It's a pretty small battleship, so I was thinking I had a little more turning radius than I actually do. Maybe look to help the Conqueror back here in a little bit. Okay, this Musashi might be broadside here, or enough that we can cheek him. This does take some decent accuracy on our ship's part, so let's see if we can't grab one of those. Not great. It's okay. It's gonna hurt though. 32 mil overmatch is pretty powerful against this thing. Try again. Wow, that is much better dispersion. Okay, good.
Enemy battleship destroyed.
So with that guy taken out, we're just a little bit slow here to bring this back, but we kind of need to deal with this Vermont. So I'm gonna try and help our Kremlin out with that real quick, and then we'll turn in to try and deal with all these guys here. Hopefully our Conqueror can stay alive. It's kind of funny that we still haven't got this cap yet. Alright, he's more angled than I want him to be, so I should probably swap over to the sap. Never mind, okay, he is just dead. So, turn back in. Gotta deal with the rest of these guys. Ooh, okay, here's the Petro. Try and get some sap in. Yeah, that's like 10,000 damage. That is like, that is so hard to angle to. We might just eat Shima-torps here for free, depending on where he torped. Balti's pretty low here. I don't think I have the pen to actually Citadel him here, but I'll try and kill him. Did I just leave him on 10? 10,000 HP. Come on, team, please. Nice. Good work. I don't know if I'm angled enough for Petro here. I am. Okay, that's good. But we definitely need to go after him. Get some sap in and angle some more. 4 hits, 16,000 damage. It's really good there. Not going to rep the fire just yet. I'm kind of hopeful that we'll get out of secondary range, something like that for now. On the AP, that's good. Yeah, the armor holds up much better than I was thinking. Good hit. There you go. And we'll swap back to the AP here, since the Pomeran's probably going to go broadside. 16k. I think the thing I'm underestimating on this ship is the reload. We're at 162 already. Low health, but we're at 162. Oh, he didn't end up... Wait, you're low. Why am I not shooting the DD that's low? Especially when the Pomeran's behind an island. But they get him. That's good. Kremlin might be dead to the Shima-torps, though. Those do a lot of damage. Des Moines brawling a Pommern. Interesting.
Enemy submarine in sight.
Sub is here. Okay, we need to help on that if we can. 11 kilometers of range, just enough. Pommern, can we help finish him off here? We do have AP. That is something you want to be using into German battleships. 39! Guys, 39. 10 and 39. Okay. Look at this. We brought it back. Oh my goodness. What a throw by the enemy team. I think that was not looking good at the start. 173 though. And I don't really even feel like we had the best case scenario for this ship. Yeah, I've got a feeling this is going to be very frustrating to fight against with the speed and concealment and the decent armor and the sap shells that you just can't really angle to. Like, this Conqueror is pretty well angled, right? Let's see what we can do. Yeah, not a single bounce, guys. Like, this is what I mean. Sap is gross. It's a very overpowered ammo type. And I think the main reason why we've seen the battleship line and the destroyer line on the Italian trees go so poorly. The cruiser line was just so good. It's even in a nerf state, the cruiser line. It used to have better pen angles than it has now. It used to, outside 16 or 17 kilometers, you'd get plunging fire full pens on battleships. Guaranteed. Not the case anymore, but wow, it's a lot of damage, man. Very consistent. Dispersion looked okay to me, too. Considering 1.8 Sigma battlecruiser dispersion. Looked pretty decent. So, game number 2 here, we do find ourselves in another tier 10 game. No subs even to deal with in this one, or carrier. I was kind of hoping we'd see a carrier game to see if we can discover some of the main weaknesses of this thing. Lack of range really wasn't an issue last game, but carrier games typically are the ones where you feel that a little bit more. But again, this concealment, look at how close we can get relatively to these guys. Kremlin. Schroeder, there we go. That's a good target for us, I think. Depending on his upper belt. 13k. AP probably would have done similar. Might have to test out the AP a little bit more. I'm pretty focused on SAP just because I know it to be such a strong ammo type. But yeah, might have to try the AP a little more. Do that. Also, we just got spotted before firing there, so that does mean, yeah, there's a Cossack here. Okay. 14k from 3 hits there. That's pretty good. Yes, that Cossack will be forced back. That's good. Schroeder will have AP for. I think that's got a little bit of turtleback, right? Yeah, and we go dark right away, man. 12-kilometer conceal. That's wild. Very brief spotting here on a Cossack. We will get a salvo in. Give it a shot. Yeah, I think we'll stick with AP for a little bit. May as well. Ah, I missed. Georgia broadside. Potential here. You gotta be a little careful, though. They do have a lot more ships here than I was thinking initially. Didn't think Georgia or Monty was gonna be around here for a little while. Georgia appears really slow, so we'll try there. But it might be a situation where we just need to focus Kremlin here. Dispersion, oh, okay. Double 6. Okay, it's fine. Those pretty big. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay, time to turn around. And we can because our conceal is so stupid. It's too tempting not to shoot, guys. I have to. I have to try. I know we're broadside to him, and we have a vulnerable citadel too, but... Oh, I should not have done that, George. It's so much faster than I thought. Bad shot. Missouri, the reason I turned around there is Missouri. And we didn't get punished. Very lucky. I saw Missouri just eat all those torps and that, so... And that'll give him the confidence to start pushing here, so... I can't be caught bow in here. The idea was if we could slowly chip these guys down, this is a really good flank to apply a lot of pressure, but don't have that opportunity. Georgia's fast, as we said before, although he's turning in. Might want to consider waiting on shooting here, since we are forced very broadside. That's a sad one to drop low. On the border here, forced to be very, very broadside. I think we accelerate out of those Monty shells. Just enough? Just enough. It's a very low to the ground ship, right? Georgia one's hurt. Not too bad. Okay, we'll try Schroeder again. Turning in. Fine. We'll go Georgia. We'll go Georgia.
Get back.
This is becoming a problem. 12k there. Yeah. Wow, we're getting lucky, or this ship's armor is like quite good. I think it's got to be luck, right? We're just so broadside, you know? Yeah, let's try there. Broadside Schroeder. Short fuses should mean we're less likely to overpen. Yeah, 15k is pretty nice there. Sap probably does that, though. Still a good salvo, though, don't get me wrong. It's too bad our Yami came out here. I saw him initially trending towards this side. It would have been so nice to have a crossfire on these guys as we were as they were pushing in, right? That's always what we're looking to do. That's why I tend to not follow where my friendly battleships are. Unfortunate we couldn't save the Worcester there, but would you take that cruiser with us? Thunder can help us potentially here. Yeah, we are very broadside here, but I want to get away from our Yami, ideally. Send some AP at the Kremlin. We do have quite a few buffs. Our team's doing pretty well over here, so we're okay with chilling. Okay, angled. Wow, we are so... We're getting away with being so broadside here. It's silly. I think that's just how low we are to the water. And our speed. You can tell the Monty here is just underleading us consistently every time. That is simply because we're so much faster than you'd probably expect out of a tier 10 battleship. I'm not really missing the... Oh, that was bad dispersion. I'm not really missing the smoke. That might be a question or something you guys are wondering about compared to the Colombo. I'm certainly enjoying the consistency out of the main guns and the speed and the concealment here that we're getting. Much more so. Oh yeah, our team's doing really good on the other side. Wow. 11k there is pretty decent. I'm kind of playing with fire. Let's angle a little more properly. Maybe not. Still playing with fire. Let's turn in. We're in A1. I do apologize. But they push pretty hard, man. Not quite sure what this thing can take. Apparently it's tankier than I think. That's good dispersion. Yeah, there you go. 20k sap salvo. Swap to the AP now. Probably don't have the pen for a Kremlin here, but still give it a shot. In fact, he's probably going to turn out here. So I think we want sap again. Our reload's amazing, but keep in mind arms race. Do get some buffs. No Sansonetti right now. Not available on the test ship. But that would help a lot if you have them. And you probably do if you've got the steel to get this thing. Now try some more sap. Angle to that. Yeah. Is the superstructure small? I don't know. It doesn't seem like that small, but maybe it's just that I'm comparing it to a pretty small battleship overall. Get over that? I don't think he can. Oh, good. I'm not detected. I was thinking maybe Cossack was here ready to torp me. He still might be. But we went dark for a second, which means he's 12 kilometers away or so. No, it's a shatter. Oh, I'd love to finish this guy off. Got some healing, though. Gremlins are pretty tanky. I don't think I have the end for his upper belt. So it actually does make sense to just go AP here. We do have a Cossack. Sure. Oh, he's gonna smoke. Oh, this is perfect. Look at this. Wow, we're gonna show broadside to a Kremlin here. But look at this. Wow, this thing, I thought it would be taking more citadels, man. Look at the conceal. Like you just get to, I mean, this is what you'd use the smoke for in a Italian battleship, right? Definitely. Go like that. Swap over to the AP if he's gonna be turning in on us. Start kiting again. Yeah, too many shatters. 15k there. There might be a shelf to consider here when we are kiting. Ooh, there's some accuracy. This has 16,000. 18. Okay, it is. So considering our SAP and our AP are only ever going to do overpens worth of damage to destroyers, just pick whichever one is going to have higher alpha, which in this case is SAP. I'm not sure, but wow, look at that. 2 salved him. Bit of a buff here though too on the alpha damage from arms race. And I think I can turn. He's far enough away. But it's possible. If I can't quite remember. It's possible that SAP actually has some saturation mechanics. Oh, am I far enough away? Thought I was. Got greedy. Got greedy. Nice torps, man. 200k there. It's pretty solid overall. Our team is definitely going to be winning that one. 2.6 million potential damage. And we were sitting broadside, man. I think that's probably pretty good results for this armor class. Like, that should have been more damage. I feel like that should have been more damage. So, what are the weaknesses, right? What are the weaknesses? It controls the engagement through concealment and speed. It doesn't care about your angling because of SAP. Unless you're in like a Kremlin or anything that has an upper belt deck armor more than 114 millimeters, and not a lot has that. Upper belts, that is. Nobody has that kind of deck armor. So it controls the engagement. It's fast. It doesn't care about your angling. Its reload is really good. Not like insane reload like we would see on a Republic or something like that, but 26.4 is, I mean, it's better than Columbo, which maybe isn't saying much, but even with reload mod, we only get 32.6, and the dispersion is abysmal. The dispersion here seems pretty good. Still has some wonky salvos here and there, but the battlecruiser formula will help it a lot, even though it does 1.8 Sigma. The airstrike seems decent. It's not nerfed to the ground like the Thunderer and Ohio would be. AA will be a problem, but we knew that already going into an Italian ship. I don't know, man. It might be too good. Seemed pretty comfortable playing it there. Like, you know, these are the first couple games I've played in it, and I didn't really get that punished for going broadside. I didn't feel like I was missing range, although we didn't fight a carrier yet. I think it's going to be miserable to fight against. You guys are going to have to let me know in the comments what you think. But I have a feeling this is going to be very unfun to deal with. And especially considering most people play a little more passive than I do. I know I played passive in this video, but who turns in, right? Who's going to turn in when they can just stay kiting? You guys know what I'm saying, right? I'm definitely pushing in more than the average player will be in this thing. So it's going to be very difficult to take out. It looks cool. A little odd with how low the rear portion of the deck is. But it looks cool. And it's 36,000 steel. We'll see when that actually comes out. Not in a bundle. Of course, it's probably going to be a limited time bundle as well. So, you know, trying to cash in on FOMO type stuff. We'll see. But yeah, ship seems crazy good. So if you're looking for a battleship in the Armory for steel, you don't have any of them, right? Your options will be Shikishima, Mecklenburg, Incomp, Bourgogne, and now the Lauria. I think Lauria probably is pretty. It's going to be pretty close to Bourgogne level. Maybe not quite, but it's a similar kind of playstyle, honestly, with the speed and the concealment. And consistency out of SAP instead of consistency out of a reload booster. It's pretty interesting. I'd probably recommend it over... I'll definitely recommend it over Incomparable. You guys know how much I don't like that thing. Mecklenburg, I'd probably recommend the Lauria over it. Shikishima is just Yamato, but slightly different, so that one's not all that interesting, especially if you're spending this much steel on on a ship, I think you'd probably want it to be unique. I would be interested in it being a unique ship and playstyle. So yeah, a very, very strong battleship. Probably going to be too good, but we'll see how it goes. I might have to pop a secondary build on it and see how that fares, even though the secondary DPM is 171,000. So for context, Schlieffen's secondary DPM is 384,000. Yes, that's gonna be a tricky one. Yamato is 355,000 secondary DPM. Vincent has 290,000 secondary DPM. Yeah, so pretty low DPM, and it doesn't have the accuracy to make up for that. But it is sap shells, so I'll probably be dumb enough to try and run that and maybe make a video on it if it goes pretty well. But that's going to do it for today. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. This, I'm assuming, is going to be available with the next update in the Armory for 36,000 steel. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.